Hello. Okay. Right. All right. So, what I'm trying to do today, I have 6 hours on this game, almost 7. But what I want to do today is get all the red options because, as it turns out, I missed a couple. I missed a couple things, and I missed some very juicy stuff. So I'm gonna try and get those today. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So I think I will start a new game for this because some of them are all the way at the start options. Also, I didn't do all the options at the beginning. So yeah. This is still the demo. It's still the prologue. Also content warning. Touchstarved is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes, but is not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury, and dismemberment. So you gotta just still be aware of that. It's still the same game. If you accept the embargo terms and content warning, please click to proceed. In Touchstarved, your choices matter. Yeah, so I got one red text option the last time, and so I'm gonna try to get the other 4. I think I think there's supposed to be one for every character, but as it turns out, I don't think anybody's gotten Vere or Kuras yet. So I mean, I guess I'll try to find out if they do have one. Going with the same name, Syringa. Same pronouns. I'm gonna be skipping a lot of it because I've already seen this. And if you haven't, you can watch my first stream. But yeah, we were born cursed. And so everybody we touch goes insane. I think I'm going to pick the same backstory because I also want to find out whether the backstory matters. So I will do the other 2 at a later time. But first is just the red options. So again, the alchemist. Alright. So, I can skip this. Okay. So, okay, this is the first option. I didn't even... Yeah, okay. I have so many saves. I'm gonna rewrite a lot of them in this stream. But okay. The last time, I ran for the city, so this time we'll head towards the wagon. I take cover beside the wagon where the air is thick and greasy with smoke. Fire eats through the gaping hull, sputtering where lantern oil mixes with brackish water. Every person I see is dead or dying, except one. O All-Mother, forgive our sins. Guide us unto your hearth. We are worthy, we are worthy. A traveler grovels by the flames, their hands clasped above their head in fervent prayer. I glance upwards, towards the gauzy lights of Iridia, just visible where the fog runs thinnest. I don't pray, but the sight of the city is all the reminder I need. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fogfall twists and stretches to sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. Okay, I've seen this. It's happened already. He dies. Yeah. Shit. And So I'm gonna skip the rest of this. I didn't pick. I wonder if, like, going for the caravan instead actually does much. So the last time I tried to fight them off, which, I don't remember what happened when I tried, but this time we'll scream for help. Help. I tried to scream, but the fingers squeezing my windpipe cut me off. I knew that was gonna happen. The more I struggle, the tighter the grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. Okay. The last time I chose to fight them off because I knew that we wouldn't be able to scream anyway. I can't auto this. I can't skip. Okay. Kuras! Right. The last time I lay back down. I lied back down, whatever. So, what if I sit up? I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims, and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. Ah, a stubborn patient. The last time he was like, a cooperative patient, thank you. Now it's different. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. So I've seen this. He has no idea who I am. Even my teacher didn't like me. Wear my clothes. You're not to be dissuaded. Okay. I'm skipping all this. Wait, okay, never mind. The last time I just thanked him, so could you step out? I lift my head, looking defiantly into those golden eyes. Could you step out first? I'm not getting dressed with you standing here. To my surprise, the man's mouth quirked. I was not planning on watching. Still smiling to himself, he disappears through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. Yeah, that's new. Wait, I gotta check whether you guys can hear me. You can. Okay, that's good. Just checking. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. Okay. So there are 2 this time. Say nothing, glare at him, decline to answer. The last time, I just said nothing, because I felt like that was the least rude option. Decline to answer. Well, that's a very personal question, and I don't really want to answer. Is that so? Surely you realize that I can only help if you tell me what ails you. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No, best to keep my curse to myself for now and learn more about him first. Okay. For you may call me Kuras. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume I should have. Yeah. Thank you for saving me. Why did you save me? I thanked him the last time. So I'm gonna pick why did you save me? If there's anything I've learned, it's that everybody wants something. With the world in such peril, no one reaches out a hand without expecting something in return. Can I ask why you saved my life? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Kuras. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. Okay. I'm pretty curious, so I picked this one. I honestly don't know what to say to that. If you knew more about me, you might not like me as much as you think. Doctor or not, he wouldn't want to risk his life or sanity over me. No one ever does. A peculiar thing to say. Why would I have cause to dislike you? And here we are, back at my curse, the thing I've been desperate to avoid discussing. But the door... Okay, duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. So, let's wait your turn. Let's just sit quietly. Do you need anything? Oh, okay, yeah. This is the same thing. I'm just... A child darts by. The smell of frightful... I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this. Okay. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone. Show! Remaining green cloaks. Usually there's like not much difference, I think. Usually there's like slight differences, but not that much. Oh my god. This art's are so pretty. Don't blink or you'll miss it. So, I think the other thing I have to do. Okay. So, I didn't choose to... I took the flowers the last time. And I'm gonna take them still, because I'm trying to get his red option. But I didn't see what happened if I refused the flowers. So I'll have to check back on that later, I suppose. I'll take the flowers again. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? They do. Okay. I don't know whether this makes it different. I'll take water this time. Water's fine. While the bartender leaves. Yeah, okay. Sour taste. Here come the questions. So what brings you to the lake? Okay, I've seen this. Wait. The thing with the water... Wait, give me a second. I follow Leander. Yeah. The bartender pushes a pair of glasses our way. I didn't realize how thirsty I am. I don't realize how thirsty I am until the cool water touches my lips. I drain the water in a single gulp. So, these two are different. Leander takes a deep swig of his beer and lets out a satisfied breath. So the drink doesn't really impact what he thinks of you, I don't think. Like last time we also got his beer and we didn't like it because it was sour. Yeah, okay. Listen, I appreciate the offer. Skip. 3, 2. Oh, okay. 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 I didn't hold back still the last time, but I'm so... I'll revisit this Touch him. I don't even. I'll see what happens if I don't the next time. Okay, so this is the different. I let him go the last time, but now I'll keep touching him. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scar by the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Leander's face, and his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? My hand goes still on his arm. So far. Okay. I'll admit your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-headed, but not due to your power. He takes my hand. His soft green eyes flick to mine before it turns to inspect the golden fissures crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, we match. You point at a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. Okay. That was so cute though, so. Okay. Wait, this is the keep touching him bit. Alright. So I'm trying to get all the red options. So I think the point now is to just go aggressive a bit. Dang. That means I'll have to restart with Kuras, but okay. Where'd you find it? How'd you even find the key, I mean? What can I say? I'm a sucker for shiny things. I saw you drop it, you should be more careful. Okay. Keeping your distance? I'd be stupid to trust you. I've seen... Ah, okay, this will be fun. This will be fun. I'll flirt back again. Aren't you funny? Could you be any more obvious? So, your place or mine? If only I had my key, then I might be able to invite you up. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Come, take my hand and we'll go together. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he let on, even if he has a lovely laugh. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack or bite. I won't bite hard unless you beg me. Or what I'd say, yeah. Okay, this scene again. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them even as his fingers dig into my arm. I knew I smelled blood, the reek of death in the road, and that fucking doctor. His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. Let go! I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I fear he'll bite, he takes a deep whiff instead. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes up at me. Not quite human, not quite monster. Seems we're both... Vere! Okay. I've seen all this. I don't think there's anything to see here. Ah, okay. This... I don't... So I'm not even talking to one of the characters. I'm talking to the red-eyed woman. I guess... I said nothing last time. Respond sarcastically. You know anyone selling? So... She might... Yeah, she might like that. I don't know. So we're going to the sea spring. I'd rather not. This is a setup. I said I'd rather not the last time. This is a setup. This has to be a setup. As soon as I step out there, some friends of yours will ambush and mug me. If I wanted something from you, I would already have it. She says it so lightly, I almost believe her, even if she looks as physically capable as a toothpick. You're a safe intensity, okay. So I'm skipping all this. Push each foot forward. Ah, okay. Jeez. I don't know which one is better for this. Let's just call out. Hello? Is anyone here? Without a response. Okay. Maybe I'll say something. They watch me through the mirrors. They won't stop staring. They know what I did, but they won't have me. I'm safe now. I'm safe now. I'm safe now. So, last time, this actually isn't just unintelligible scrawl. Apparently there's actually somebody decoded it. Wait, let me find it real quick. Someone decoded this, and it was never wish something about a star. Wait, let me look it up real quick. Touchstarved. Don't remember how to find it. Give me a second. Let's see. The music here isn't bad though. Ah, okay. Never wish on a shooting star. He's always listening. That's what this means. Never wish on a shooting star. Like a shooting star. He's always listening. It was Rot 13 and 19? Yeah. Something's watching. And he is watching. Hey. So now this is the one I know, where I know there's a my choices will make a difference. Hello. You look lost, little sparrow. That line though. Hey! eyes on me. My stomach rolls as I tear my eyes away from the soulless. Don't ignore someone who's talking to you. It's not polite. For a moment, anger knocks my fear aside. Who is this bastard? Fuck you! I look right into his unnerving eyes, holding his gaze defiantly. Fuck you, is that better? A crooked grin cracks across his face. We'll work on it. Did you tame them? He did, mostly. Trespassing and it's punishable for that. Didn't hear. Oh wait, this is different. I called out earlier to see if anyone was here. Were we supposed to play hide and seek? Didn't hear you. Okay. I don't know whether this will make a difference. I need help. Tell me what you want. What do you want? Tell me what you want. I'm not in the mood for guessing games. Your hands. Try to hide them. Show me why. I won't ask twice. Hopefully, it'll still work. So now the other thing I have to do is pet, Princess. He's so hot. What the fuck? I'm skipping. Depends. Can they cure a curse? Probably. I mean, you don't know. Nope. Your minds. Your eyes are red too. Time's up. Let's finish this later. Wait, already? You barely told me anything. Came on a bad day. I've got somewhere to be. There's still so many questions burning on the tip of my tongue, but my frustration spills out before any of them. Not your tone, I'm nice, but you don't want to ruin the host's mood. Princess. It's getting dark. This pretty girl will guide you home. Okay, so I just got a pet her. The soulless sits and looks at me expectantly with familiar crimson eyes. I'm gonna save this time. I'm gonna just save at every option, honestly. I'm gonna pet it. As nervous as I am, I glide my fingers through the soulless's tendrils and scratch beneath its chin, just like Ais I. It pushes into my palm in response, rumbling with a sound akin to a purr. The vibrations are soothing, almost healing my fatigue. When it's satisfied, the soulless spins around and scampers back in the direction we came, vanishing into the darkness. I sort of hope that they'll give Princess a sprite. She's abandoned. Okay. Oh, wait. Strain my ears, everything's still, something is wrong. The fine hairs on the back of my neck prickle, a frisson of discomfort running down my spine. Something is wrong. No, I picked this one the last time, didn't I? I imagine. I take a deep breath, quelling an instinctive flicker of fear. I know my nerves are shot, but if I give in to paranoia and start running, I'll just get lost. Measuring my breath and steps, I forge ahead. Though I keep my eyes sharp and listen intently. There's only the sound of my own footsteps. As the moments pass and nothing happens, I begin to wonder, maybe I really did imagine that noise. I turn the next corner and my thoughts dance comes coming to a halt. And it's the same solace. Okay. Skip. This doesn't even. Ah, okay. Wait. Listen. So last time I screamed for help, and Min was like, "Can't you keep it down if you die?" But if you try the nearest door, he'll say, "Oh, it's a bounty, actually." So I'll do that one instead. I whirl, grabbing at the handle of the closest door. It turns completely, the hinges creaking as I push, and I feel a flash of hope, before a weight hits the door from the other side, and it slams shut. The click of the lock turning is grimly final. I feel like the music is a bit loud. There isn't even voice, but okay. I mean, I hope there will be at some point. I know the Kickstarters already reached the goal of getting voices. Donate to that, by the way. I think the next thing is to have the next goal is to have it animated or something, which will be fun. The full game's coming out in like 2 years, guys. I actually can't wait. Stay there. They turn away from me stiffly, leaning over the Solus's gangly body. With their back towards me, I realized that I saw their hooded silhouette at the cenobium. Okay. You were at the cenobium, you saved me, you're shorter than I thought. I'm trying to get... I mean... I think I'll still get the red option for Min, even if I insult him. But, you saved me. I shouldn't have had to. Their harsh response takes me aback. Before I can formulate a response, they continue. What are you thinking, traveling alone at night? This is far from the worst thing haunting Lowtown. Can't make heads or tails of them. First they saved me, and now they scold me? Lesson learned. I could do without the lecture, though. To my surprise, they break eye contact. Their attention glides back to the Solus's corpse. They examine it with an inscrutable expression. I clear my throat to fill the silence. I'm Syringa. Min. Suddenly Min tenses. Their blade flashes as they drive it into the base of the Solus's skull, right between the cervical vertebrae. The Solus thrashes one, letting out a rattling hiss as the air leaves its lungs. Min leans on the blade, driving it deeper and deeper until there's a sickening crunch, and the creature goes limp. Oh god. My heart thuds in my chest. It must have been clinging to life by a thread. Min straightens up, withdrawing their blade in a single smooth motion. Better to put wretched things like this out of their misery. They calmly clean the blood from their knife. They struck with surgical precision. Their quick, clean movements are familiar. Red option, let's go! Wait, no. I don't, it's so hard to tell which slots are which, I swear to god. Okay, are you scientist? Min stops mid-motion, lifting their head to stare at me. Do you know exactly where to strike? Have you learned anatomy or medicine? Not quite. Was the Solus inside? So, you asked the same question anyway, so you're not gonna lose anything. Min looks at me, eyes searching before realization dawns. You're new here. Okay. Min's might be the only red option that isn't romantic, somebody said. So that's interesting. You know what, fine, I just need to find my lodgings. already got their red option. I picked this last time, so I'll pick this now. You know what? Fine. Fed up, I don't bother holding back anymore. Fine. I don't know why you dive in out of nowhere to kill some dangerous soulless, then be rude to the person you helped, but go right ahead. Min blinks, staring at me like my head just spun around on my neck. They open their mouth, then close it, looking uncertain. I forge onward, gathering steam. How was I supposed to know there'd be dangerous soulless hunting in the streets? You don't have to be an asshole about it. That was a good thing. You're not as mindless as you look. Saringa? Kuras. Hello, Min. I see that soulless was your work. Okay. Gosh, I don't know. Wait. Didn't know you had friends. Do you know them, Kuras? I think. They're like, oh, we're partners. That's what they said. I'm gonna pick this. I didn't know you had friends, Min. I don't. Freelance work is dangerous. And Kuras is a doctor, that's all. Saringa needs to get back wherever she's staying before she wanders into the jaws of another soulless. It's late, were you able? Okay, wait. You know them, Kuras? Min's a freelancer who has done a few errands for me. They're quite reliable. Unreliable freelancers don't eat. A freelancer who wields a dagger like a scalpel? There must be something more to that story. So, I think there isn't much of a difference. Right, okay. All of them are here. Hi, again, we've already met. We've already met. Actually, I've already met everyone. You've already met? Ais and Vere level me with subtly amused expressions. Vere's tail gives a lazy wag. We did. Not that long ago, either. I'm starting to suspect she's stalking me. He looks far too pleased with himself when I roll my eyes. This calls for drinks. What does everyone want? In an instant, all eyes turn to Leander, freeing me from the burden of attention. I still can't believe they all know each other. Watching them talk amongst themselves feels surreal. But for the first time, I feel a glimmer of hope. Color me surprised. You make friends fast, Saringa. Go that far. He said that, I'll speak up. What'll it be? Okay. I'll take the drink this time. I'll take you up on that drink, as long as it's not one of those green shots. Don't knock them till you've tried them. They taste better than they look. Somehow I doubt that, but I hold my tongue long enough for Leander to go behind the bar. He's lying, isn't he? When I glance at Ais, he only shrugged. Like I said, they were chewy. They were chewy, probably poisoned too. He considers his own drink a tumbler of amber-colored whiskey. Leander's tried to kill me a dozen times by now. It's always a gamble. Vere clicks his tongue in disapproval. When he finally looks my way, it's with a half-lit gaze softened by his third glass of champagne. Were I you, I wouldn't let Leander put anything in my mouth. He fans his fingers over his chest, voice dripping with fake reverence. The Wet Wit is one of the finest drinking establishments in all of Iridia. While you're here, you may as well partake in the signature watered-down drinks and stale nut leather. Gotta stick around for the real attractions, though. Yeah, what does that mean? Okay. Before I can ask what he means, Leander returns with a tumbler that he sets in front of me. Uneven chunks of ice bob in a pool of reddish-purple alcohol. I eye the drink suspiciously. It better not be another disgusting concoction of Leander's. Relax, it's just a local specialty, plum gin. Although if you're feeling more adventurous... I shake my head. Leander raps his knuckles against the bar until the group falls silent. Alright everyone, let's toast. May Syringas stay in Iridia, be full of bright adventures and discoveries. Cheers! Leander, Ais, and Vere raise their glasses in unison. Min only crosses their arms, and Kuras watches with polite indifference. I tip back my drink. The plum gin is eye-wateringly strong. Despite a sharp medicinal edge, it goes down smooth. One sip softens the edges of my vision. The next fades the din of the crowded bar into a low, persistent murmur. I find myself unwinding for what feels like the first time in years. Into the popular one. Okay. Just like that, all three of them depart. Or so I think, until I hear a voice so soft and so low, it's practically a purr. Lost your tour guide? I turn to find crimson and pink eyes trained on me. It's not lost on me that they chose the instant the others left the strike. Just my luck. I had to be abandoned with the two most irritating people I've met all day. Monsters or not, there's no telling what I'll do if either of them push me again. It's funny, because these two are my favorite. I was lonely. A simpler answer than I expected, but I guess I can't fault him for that. Suddenly, support these two, I swear. How about a fresh start, Begin with proper introductions, get off on the right foot and whatnot. I'll start. The name's Vere, hunter extraordinaire. Vere's right hand flutters to his chest, and he bows his head, flinching when a hair falls into his eyes. Ais doesn't say anything, so I suppose it's my turn now. You already know my name. It's Syringa. I believe which one was I choosing? I said it's Syringa. What's this one? I'm certain you already know my name. Hard not to when Leander shouts it every other second. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Syringa. Okay, I'm gonna pick this one actually. Vere considers me for a long moment, his tail idly swaying behind him. Then, he knocks back the rest of his champagne. It's a pleasure to formally meet you, Syringa. He says my name slowly and deliberately, savoring every syllable. A tingle jumps down my spine. I quickly turn my gaze away. Ais smirks at my reaction over the rim of his glass. Something funny? Nope. This must be the gin. Oh, what was the thing she said last time? I don't know. A flash of white over Ais' shoulder. Okay. You watch it. Oh, wait, there's a difference? Wait, okay. So I leave to go say goodbye to Kuras. I slip through the crowd, careful not to touch anyone. But just as I'm nearing Kuras... I stagger, shoulder checked by a man with a neck thicker than both my thighs. He stares down at me, nostrils flaring. Out of my way, shitstain. My words spill out on their own. This is new. You watch it. I regret them as soon as they leave my mouth. That fucking gin! The roughneck wheels around, shoving a bloodhound out of the way so he can close in on me. What did you say? He shoves me backwards, sending me stumbling to the sticky floor. I'm fine, but my heart leaps into my throat when I see the roughneck bearing down on me. You trying to start something here? The roughneck freezes, his fist cocked back. Screw it, too many freaks. Okay. You'll do. Okay. I didn't. So picking gin changes more things than I expected. The thing about this game is like you really gotta try to do everything, because there's just slight variations. Okay, now it's the important part. It's time for the routes, baby. Okay. Yes. Let me just clear all of these. So, I think I'm gonna go for Ais first, cause I'm pretty sure I got all the things to get his red thing, to get his red option. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna follow Ais. Morbid curiosity draws me after Ais. I slink out the back of the wet wick. Let me drink some water. Once so violent, the roughneck is now little more than a sack of crumpled flesh, blotted with mud. Ais exhales, his breath misting against the cold air. Blood flecks his knuckles as he looms over the motionless body, his feet on either side of it. Fear spreads like ice in my bones. Moments ago, he was joking and friendly with the others, but now... Ais's crimson eyes find me in the dark. Not running, Sparrow? I warily rise to my feet, moonlight illuminating my face. I thought I was out of sight. Got eyes in the back of my head. Ais steps off the roughneck. My eyes stay locked on the body. It's wet with layers of blood and grime. Completely still. He's alive. Are you sure? Calling me a killer or a liar? Oh, okay. Will this make a difference? Will it make a difference? In Touchstarved, your choices matter. Liar, which I guess is both, or killer. Wait, let me see. Killer must be scared. You won't hurt me. Comes out more like a question. His eyes flick down my body, then up again. Not like him, at least. Okay. Liar, which I guess is both. In that case, he's dead. I squint and he smirks back. Don't believe me? To be honest, it's hard to believe anything coming out of your mouth. I'm a liar, after all. Okay. I like this one better. His bloody knuckles catch his attention. He tries to rub them clean, but ends up smearing the blood around more. I keep making bad impressions on you. I didn't know you cared about my opinion. Just prefer you didn't piss yourself when we talk. Annoyance bubbles in my chest. Well, I'm not pissing myself, even with your bad impressions. Like the first time we met, Ais chips away at my fear, replacing it with irritation instead. Ais kneels beside the roughneck and frisks him. I can't help but wonder if the crime was worth the punishment, but I hold my tongue. Deftly, Ais's hands search through the roughneck's pockets. It doesn't take him long to find his prize, a cigarette and a matchbox. He strikes a match. Sparks light up his angular features with a golden glow. It's distracting for a moment, but my gaze inevitably drops back to the muddy body. You're just gonna leave him there? Ais draws deep from the cigarette. He exhales heavily, smoke curling past his lips. I breathe in the sweet, spiced scent of cloves. His tension melts away, and he looks at me with cool, lidded eyes. Should I give him a blanket? Unbothered by the maybe corpse, he takes a seat on a crate opposite the bar. I stand awkwardly, forgetting why I came out here in the first place. An unpleasant silence stretches between us. Weather's nice. Cold, murky, and humid, he means. I want to believe he's teasing me, but for all I know, this is pleasant for Iridia. Was Princess good company? Who? He takes another long drag. His metal rings catch the light of the cigarette in a flash of red. They animated this in the trailer. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. The soulless who escorted you back. You named it Princess? Jealous? I return his smile. You have no idea. I think her nickname's more fitting. Sparrow. Not sure where Ais got it from. Maybe I should tell him to call me by my name, but it's kind of nice. Not that I'd ever tell him that. Before I can dissect my feelings, I quickly change the subject back to the soulless. Right, okay. She was cute. She was kind of cute in a weird way. I glance absent-mindedly at my hand, remembering how she nuzzled into my palm at my touch. Ais's eyes softened for a brief moment. Her tail wouldn't stop going when she got back. The group of them don't get much attention. Think she's cute now? Wait till you see her tricks. You taught her tricks? Princess is a smart one. She'll learn anything if you have the right reward. Sounds about right. The idea of tamed soulless is so outlandish to me. I was mauled by a mindless, bloodthirsty beast, and he's talking about them like they're pets. But it's possible, all because of the sea spring. I need to get the answers he wouldn't give me before. I carefully take a seat beside him on the crate, contemplating my strategy. He doesn't seem to mind. He closes his eyes, tilts back his head against the wall, relaxed. Without the pressure of his intense gaze, I feel myself ease up, too. As long as I keep my attention away from the bloody heap across from us. I glance over at Ais and allow my eyes to linger. A sea glass colored tattoo spirals up his arm, painting over the grooves of muscle. Silver jewelry glints in the moonlight. It draws my eyes to his bare chest, rough hands, carved jaw. His ears, his horns, his pupils, everything about him is sharp, even the fangs that only show when he grins. But as dangerous as he appears, I can't help wanting to know more. I wonder how recently he crossed over to this world, and why. What's your verdict? Very hot. I whip my head in the opposite direction. What verdict? Got a long, good look. Are you impressed, or do I need work? My face grows hot. You're annoying. I've seen worse. I guess I've seen worse. He responds with a low chuckle draped in smoke. Keep staring then. Wait, what's the other one? You're annoying. Okay, never mind. My embarrassment spikes. Without thinking, I blurt out a change in topic. I have questions about the sea spring. Boredom eclipses his amusement in an instant, and he closes his eyes again. Of course you do. I thought I made myself clear what you'd be giving up. Before you kicked me out to go drinking, I still need to know more. My turn for a question. It sounds more like an order than anything else. I bristle under his narrowed gaze. Fine. He takes a long pull from his cigarette and lets the smoke trail slowly from his lips. Your curse. What about it? The song and dance is all too familiar. The selfish questions come first. What does it do? Is it painful? Can you control it? I brace myself for the inevitable onslaught. Is the thought of living with it really so unbearable? My dread dies with his words. No one has asked me that before. You've survived this long. Unless you're running out of time, I'd wonder if it's really worth the sacrifice. He flicks the cigarette aside and props his head on blood-smeared knuckles. But what do I know? I'm just an outsider. My fingers fuss with the trim of my cloak. Ordinarily, I'd feel annoyed, but now my chest feels tight. You could have sold me if you're less honest. You're a shit salesman. He laughs under his breath. Harsh words. We lapse into silence again. This time, it's surprisingly nice. The quiet, chilled air is a calming reprieve. You know, you didn't seem like an outsider back at the bar. A lot of people like you. Ais raises a brow at me. I start by asking about... Okay. Guess I'll just ask about all of them again. You and Leander clearly get along well. You like Leander? Doesn't everyone? He's helped me a lot since I arrived in Iridia. He even got me a free room at the Wetwick. His charm has gotten him far, but for a leader, he sure likes it when others take control. Part of me desperately wants to ask what he means, but Ais continues before I get the chance. Surprised we get along? I thought you'd be at each other's throats instead of drinking buddies. His smile is easy, but there's a dangerous edge to it. Leander's done a good job for a human. Naturally, there'll come a time when his resolve is tested. Same could be said for anyone in this plane or the next. As for my resolve, well, stick around in Iridia long enough and you'll find out. I nod slowly. I can't decide if it sounds like a promise or a threat. Got any more observations, Sparrow? Vere. I'm surprised to see that you and Vere are close. Blessing and a curse. From what I've gathered, most people think he's, I don't know, an asshole. And Water's wet. I wait for him to elaborate or add his thoughts, but he doesn't. So, what do you like about him? He lets out a quiet laugh, as if amused by my question. A lot of things. You already named one. You like that he's an asshole. Temperament matches the drapes. Looks good in blood and better in tears. Favorite things to tell? Sometimes it frizzles up if you... He catches himself, clears his throat. It's hard to not let the disappointment show in my expression. Vere is one of the most honest people you'll meet. Just don't listen to a single thing he says. Those sound like complete opposites to me. Kuras. I didn't know that you and Kuras were friends. In a way, I help him in the clinic sometimes. Doctor doesn't let most people closer than arm's length. And you do? Heart's on my sleeve. I get the sense Kuras was like that in the past. Must have been burned. He trails off after the last few words, then shrugs. He opens up in his own ways, if he's relaxed enough. I don't know how to even imagine that. You'd be surprised. Even the doctor has an endearing side. I can't decide what's more intriguing. The fact that Kuras has an endearing side, or the idea that Ais has managed to coax it out of him. Tell me if you uncover any of his other secrets. I'd kill to know more. And Min. Maybe Min doesn't necessarily like you, but they definitely pay attention to you. Ais's reaction takes me off guard. He growls, pinches the bridge of his nose, as exasperated as I've ever seen him. Dang it. I make enemies as easily as I breathe, Sparrow. Doesn't bother me. But that dove's got it out for me for no reason. Maybe they're unsettled by the sea spring? It's not about that. It goes without saying that they've got some issues. Don't think they understand that you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Honey has left a bad taste in my mouth in the past. It could be the same for them. At least you're capable of a conversation. Do me a favor and teach the dove some manners. Thought they'd lay off eventually if I didn't bite. Hasn't happened yet. I briefly considered the possibility that Min wants to get bitten. I'm not about to propose that though. My main point is that, speaking from experience, being an outsider usually means you don't have friends. I don't. I level him with a tired look. Fine, I'll confess. I have one friend. Don't say yourself. Alcudius. I don't know how to pronounce that. My skin prickles at the name, hair standing on end. Who's that? A friend. It lives in my head. It lives in your head. Ais taps his temple with a finger. Right here. Scared you off yet? That'd be the third bad impression I've made on you today. I'm stunned for a long moment, processing what he's just told me. I wonder what significance that name has, to be honest. Then I burst into a fit of laughter. You're serious? Ais grins wide enough to flash his fangs. Deadly. It sounds so fucking absurd, I can't help it. On top of everything I've gone through today, it seems like I'm living a fever dream. I've come close to death more times than I can count, encountered tame solace and a horrifying group mind. And now I'm supposed to believe that there's someone living inside Ais's head. There are tears in my eyes by the time I rein myself in. Ais waits patiently, lips quirked in amusement. Sorry, it just sounds so ridiculous. The tension that wound my shoulders so tightly has melted away, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can breathe. I feel better. Dukas, where in Rats's ass are you? Raucous, gruff shouts rise in the streets, echoed by the sound of heavy boots sloshing through mud. The voices share the roughneck's accent from the bar, the same roughneck who is still maybe dead and lying bloodied across from us. I nearly forgot about him. I shove to my feet as their voices get louder. They're closing in quick. Ais pulls me by the wrist out of the alley, away from beaming moonlight. We dive into a nook between buildings, veiled in the shade of tattered canopies. It's a tight fit. Ais boxes me in against the wall, his body all but pressed against mine as he towers over me. For the second time today, the heady scent of smoke envelops me, but this time cut with the metallic tinge of someone else's blood. Ais pitches his voice low. Quiet. My heart leaps into my throat. I'm suddenly acutely aware of the heat radiating off Ais's body, the feeling of his leg grazing my thigh, the closeness of his breath. This is bad. I squirm against him and earn a burning crimson glare. Do we really have to? His hand covers my mouth, muffling my whispers. He shakes his head. Don't. Damn, he's over here. Dugas, wake up, you bastard. A group of individuals, all brandishing spiked weapons, fill the alley. They all wear violet sashes, some kind of uniform. I wish I could see what they're doing, but Ais's arm all but blocks my sight. My eyes trail up the teal markings. They coil around his arm, his bicep. They lead up to Ais's collarbones, to the cords hanging around his neck, and to the smuggest smirk I've ever seen. Ah! Baby, I got it! Let's go! Ah! I bite him. I move before I can think, opening my mouth enough to bare my teeth and bite down on Ais's palm. Hard. Okay. Okay. He winces, surprise flashing across his features. His hand leaves my mouth and I gasp in air. My breath is rapid from the adrenaline, but it's only when I lick my lips, when I taste the metallic tang of blood, that I realize I broke skin. Panic builds in my chest. My body tenses, bracing for his reaction. Every movement he makes is slow and deliberate. He bends down, leans close to my ear, and in a husky voice only I can hear. The fuck? Oh! The fuck? At least someone could droplet today. Holy shit. A hot thrill jolts through me. For a heartbeat, I forget to breathe. Voices in the alley grab Ais's attention this time. Shit, he's got more broken bones. He's got more broken ribs than whole ones. What kind of freak did this? Fan out. Sorry. Oh my god, that was so hot. Ah! Okay. Okay. Calm down. Calm down. Fan out. Find the cocksucker responsible. You three. Take Dukas back to base. At least he's still breathing. The alley clears out as footsteps rush away from us. We stay still until they're distant, melting into the rumble of the quarter. When we finally step back into the moonlight, the night air is ice on my skin. I feel dazed, and the need to keep my eyes off ice at all cost. Was that really necessary? The tremble to my voice is nothing but embarrassing. Could ask. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Could ask you the same thing. Didn't know sparrows could bite. You're lucky I didn't do worse. Try me. The thought of wiping that shitty grin off his face is definitely tempting. Staying hidden was the best option. Would be a hassle to run into them with you there. What, because I'm dead weight? Because 3 bad impressions are enough for one day. The answer is too vague for my liking, but he's probably right. Either way, I don't have the energy to argue. Come on, Sparrow. Let's get you home before you're framed for murder. Very funny. We reached the front of the wet too quickly. I hate to admit it, but I don't want to separate from Ais yet. And not just because he never answered my questions. He's infuriating. As easily as he makes me feel on edge, he can make me feel safe, secure somehow. You know where to find me. At the creepiest place in the world. Take your time before you decide to drink. I happen to like your shitty attitude. It takes me a moment to process it. Then my eyes flicker down to my feet. I'll keep that in mind. When I glance back up from the ground, Ais is already down the street, disappearing into the throng of people. No fanfare, not even a wave. Asshole. Oh, shit, okay. Oh my god. Yes. Holy shit. I guess we're going back to this. Okay. I don't know about Vere, but I know Leander's got one. For the second time today, I find myself squeezing through a crowd to reach Leander. As soon as he sees me, his easy smile fades. Are you alright, Syringa? I'm not used to someone looking at me with such earnest concern. I've been through worse today. From the sounds of it, you've had quite the day. How are you holding up? Could be better, I'm fine. Could be better. I'm fine. Well, I'm still alive. That counts for something. Okay. I'll get this one. Not bad considering I've been threatened, robbed, and come close to dying too many times to count. I should have known to not let you out of my sight. How about the next time you want to see the city, I come along? I can be your personal guide. You've already helped me more than enough. Leander signals for the bartender. I'm parched. Do you want anything? I'll have a drink. I'm good. I'll have a drink. Something strong and simple. Adventurous, aren't you? I'm gonna have to keep an eye on you. Of course, you'll also need to keep an eye on me. I've lost count how many I've had. Deal. Okay, that's new. Once he's ordered, Leander turns back to me. Did you at least get to try any good food? I had these fried dough sticks from a vendor near here. As soon as I begin describing my meal, his eyes brighten with recognition. The long lads from one stall. You've got to try them with porridge. There's another stall about a block away with these rosewater rice flour cakes. Rice flour cakes. How do you even pronounce that? Whatever. Take one bite and you'll think you've been transported to some high-town patisserie. Then, bam! You open your eyes and it's the same trash-lined street as always. When he laughs, his eyes fall over his eyes. What? His hair falls over his eyes. Okay. I can't read. He shakes his head and pushes it back. I'll show you sometime, if you've decided to stick around Lowtown, that is. The Iridia Leander describes is far different from the one I've experienced. But if you live anywhere long enough, I suppose it becomes home. It seems like I'll be here for a while. Maybe I'll take you up on that. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses and pushes them our way. Cheers. Leander clinked this glass against mine. I take a deep sip of the malty dark ale, savoring its flavor. It was surprising finding out that you all know each other. I didn't think Iridia would be so small. Do you know how many times I've tried getting them together all at once? It's impossible, like trying to herd a bunch of soulless. I take it you know them well? Depends. Was there anyone you're curious about in particular? Ais. So you're friends with Ais? Have been for a while, but he's rarely in town. Where'd you run into him? The Sea Spring. Leander choked on his drink. He coughs violently into his fist before giving me a surprised look. You went all the way out there? How'd he treat you? It's up front. Yeah, right, this guy, he'll just ask me a bunch of questions. He was upfront. He was honest. He told me about how the Sea Spring's power comes with a heavy price. Losing your mind, becoming one of his funny, brainless pets. He sighs, pausing before he speaks again. Does that sound worth it to you, Syringa? The only pets he has are soulless. Yeah, I know. I didn't mean it like that. Ais has my respect and takes care of his own. For a moment, Leander stares deep into the bottom of his glass. When he looks up again, the circles under his eyes seem even deeper than usual. All those red-eyed minions creep me out. Can we talk about someone else? Vere. What do you know about Vere? Leander shakes his head slowly, his expression grave. Vere, a living example of the Cenobium's cruelty. Most days they keep him on a short leash. I'm surprised you ran into him. So, tell me, what did you make of him? He's rude. I want to know more. I want to know more about him. Wouldn't we all? He's mysterious, and not just because the Cenobium keeps him locked up. The way they treat him, it's just not right. Do you know why he's a prisoner? Nobody knows. He's been imprisoned for as long as anyone remembers, but whatever he did must have been awful considering the punishment. He's charming, but like any other monster, he's dangerous. If you ever see him out hunting, you'll know what I mean. Leander swirls his glass, choosing his next words carefully. Don't fall for his looks. He'll rip your throat out for fun. He did. Min. Min's interesting. Not very forthcoming, though. Ah, Min. My favorite grouchy freelancer. What's your impression of them? They seem lonely. I get the feeling they could use a friend. I think Min prefers to be alone. What makes you say that? Okay, they're pretty irritable. They're a testy one. You've got that right. Sometimes even paying Min for work can be a struggle. Min works for you? Contract only. Min refuses to join the Bloodhounds, but they take jobs from me often enough to qualify. Just don't ever call them a Bloodhound, okay? I'll get an earful. Kuras. Do you and Kuras work together? Occasionally. Did the mysterious, competent doctor catch your eye? He seems like a good person. Though it's hard to believe anyone's a good person these days. That's Kuras. He works hard to serve the people of Lowtown. He's a miracle worker, even if his bedside manner could use some work. Do you think he might be able to cure my curse? Leander starts to speak, but pauses to consider me for a moment first. Kuras is good, but he's only a doctor. Besides, unless you're actively dying, he'll make you wait in line all day like everyone else. That about covers it. Aren't you tired of standing? Let's find you somewhere to sit. Leander pushes away from the bar, beckoning me to follow him. Oh, this is it. He leads me to a small booth hidden in a nook of the bar. A pair of bloodhounds notice him and immediately leap to their feet, offering their seats to us. As I slide into the booth, a web of graffiti scratched into the booth's tabletop catches my eye. Deepa's grooves form the outline of the dog from Leander's posters. Dozens of roughly etched names surround the drawing, some fresh, some well-worn. What is all this? It's a tradition. Whenever someone joins the Bloodhounds, they have a drink with us, and then they carve in their initials. The barkeeper must love that. After the first year, she finally stopped charging me extra for damages. 2 years and countless drinks later, she added her own name. You're not planning on recruiting me, are you? He quickly shakes his head. Not yet. You need time to think about your own path. Do you know what you're going to try next? The question gives me pause. I take my hands out from under my cloak and rest them on the table. Do you think you can help me? Of course. We can find answers together. Leander starts to reach for me, as though meaning to take my hand before stopping himself. His eyes flicker to mine. I won't fail you, Syringa. And if you ever need a taste of normalcy, I'll always be here for you. My chest tightens at the memory of touching him. Even now? Leander swallows. The table groans under his elbows as he leans forward. Okay, this is happening. The booth is so narrow that he completely blocks my view of the bar counter. It's almost as though Leander and I are completely alone. If that's what you want. How did it make you feel? It was warm, exciting. I don't know how to describe it. Leander rests his right hand on the table. He looks at me, smiling when I place my hand in his. Slowly, he begins unwinding the bandages, stopping every so often to glance at me. As my skin becomes visible, I cast a nervous glance around the bar, but as far as I can see, no one is paying us any attention. Leander squeezes my hand gently. No one will notice. He pulls back, raising his hand to his mouth so he can tug his glove off with his teeth. The muscles in his forearm tighten as he flexes his fingers. Our eyes meet, and Leander offers his hand again. There you go, hand-holding on demand. A lump forms in my throat. I'm certain Leander sees it in my face, the flicker of desperation. His voice lowers to a whisper. Anything you want, Syringa. I got it. Let's go. That wasn't that hard. I blurt out the first request that comes to mind. Can I touch your face? Oh, sure. Oh my god. Okay. I lean over the table, hesitating before I reach for his face. When my fingers graze his jaw, Leander laughs softly. That tickles. It's fine. You can just... Okay. He takes my... wrist, angling my hand so he can press his cheek into my palm. Warmth spreads under my fingertips. A surprised breath escapes me. Gently, I run my thumb down the ridge of the scar on his cheek, and he shudders, his earring jingling against my knuckles. You're getting awfully bold. I've never touched someone like this before, and even though it makes my head spin, it's already not enough. I want to be even closer. My heart hammers, filling my ears with a pulse that grows unbearably loud until I pull my hand back. Are you alright? I can barely hear his words over my pounding heart, but I manage to nod. Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry, I think I'm just getting a little dizzy. He gives me a gentle smile, eyes crinkling at the edges. You've had a long day. You deserve some rest. Luckily, your room is just upstairs. Want me to walk you back? I shake my head and begin wrapping my hand back up. With each deep breath, my head feels more clear. I'm fine, but thanks for, well, everything. Remember what I told you. If you ever need a break from the chaos of the city, I'll be here for you. When I rise, Leander gives me one last smile. Good night, Syringa. Night. I trudge up the stairs, but even as I leave Leander behind, the warmth of his skin still lingers on mine, running through the bandages. Okay. Let's see. I don't know whether I got Kuras or Mints. I don't think I got Vere's either. Wait, I'm gonna try Vere, cause I was more aggressive with him this time, I guess. Of all the people I've met, only one left me with more questions than answers. Vere knows more than he's letting on, I'm certain of it. And if he's feeling as playful as he was earlier, I might be able to get information out of him. Still, lingering doubt looms heavy over my decision. Can I really trust someone who lies so readily? Returning to the bar is slow work, with the heavy crowd vying for drinks. Sorry about that. When I find Vere, he's leaning against the counter with his elbows propped on the edge and a wine glass raised to his lips. Not for the first time, I catch myself staring, and judging by the looks I see thrown his way, I'm not the only one. Yet there's a clear ring around Vere no one else seems bold enough to cross. One ear perks at the sound of my approach, but Vere doesn't so much as look my way, even when I slide onto the seat beside him. I didn't think you planned on sticking around. A free drink's a free drink, even if it tastes like rat piss. Didn't you say you wouldn't be caught dead slumming in this shithole? Vere takes a delicate sip from his glass, but his tail thrashes below the bar. You've caught me red-handed. He peers at me over the rim of his glass. In the low light, his eyes glitter jewel bright with amusement. However will you punish me? I figured my company's punishment enough for you. Vere's lips twitch, and he smiles despite himself. So, you survived the night. Are you here for praise, or will a hit pat do? I feel a muscle in my jaw flex at the cruel twist to a smile. His arrogance has made a full recovery, meaning only one thing. Vere has sobered up. So much for my plan. About that, turns out you were right. I did run into trouble. Now I can't decide if you're an oracle, an actual threat, or just completely full of shit. Vere scoffs. Most women would buy me a drink before insulting me. After the way you jerked me around, if anyone's owed a drink, it's me. Vere falls so uncharacteristically quiet. That for a moment, I fear that I've actually crossed a line. Then he props his chin on his wrist. I don't think you understand how things work here. Information is a luxury, one you flung carelessly aside. I'm not following. If you valued my words, you'd have taken them seriously. I gave you free advice, warned you of the danger you were in, and still you went prancing off to the sea spring. Small wonder the soulless didn't tear you to ribbons. My first impulse is to argue, but what he said doesn't sit well with me. How does he know what happened to me? How do you know I left? What soulless? What soulless? How'd you know about the soulless? Did you follow me? Of course not. And how do you know? I have a very sensitive nose. How do you know I left? Okay. How'd you know about the soulless? Did you follow me? Of course not. And how did you know? I have a very sensitive nose, remember? Right. How could I forget? Do you normally greet people by shoving your nose into their laps like an overeager Labrador? For a heartbeat, Vere's eyes grow wide and flat. Then, he laughs under his breath. Only the ones I like. Vere trades his empty wine glass for a long, abandoned tumbler sweating beside him. Soft lumps of ice bob in the watery dregs of whiskey. But the truth is, I despise most people. His eyes flicker over my shoulder and thin as Leander's boisterous laughter erupts from the other side of the bar. What about me, now that we've started off on the right foot? He turns, angling so he can look me over. His gaze is agonizingly slow as it glides over me. Finally, his lips quirt. I haven't made up my mind about you yet. It's a start, or so I think, until his eyes slide away and he turns back towards the bar. It's not Vere's attitude that bothers me. No, I expected that of him. It's the fact that I've got no idea how I'm supposed to hold a conversation, much less get answers when he's being so testy. And his foul mood is infectious. Did I do something to piss you off? He lets out a short breath. No. Another lie. I'm close enough to catch the subtle bristling of his tail. I'm just disappointed. People like us can't help but attract danger. Yet you seek it, and for what? Cheap thrills? I wasn't trying to get eaten by a soulless. There's something I'm looking for. And you think Min can help you? Leander? Are you really willing to risk your life with those dipshits? What life? You've got no idea what I've gone through. Or, forget it. I start to rise, but Min touches my shoulder. It's little more than a brush, but enough to give me pause. His eyes search mine, softer somehow than before. They couldn't even begin to understand you, but I could. I could help you, if only you'd listen. How do I know I can trust you? You don't, but I'm slightly less inclined to waste your time with empty flattery or insults than those two. Is what you desire really worth risking your life for? If you knew the kind of life I've lived, you wouldn't be asking. Vere considers the condensation sweating from his glass for a long moment before speaking again. Will you trust me? Yes. What about for now? Good enough for me. Okay. Yes. I nod, and he rewards me with a small smile. Good. He raises the tumbler to me, then snaps back the dregs. Once he's finished, he wipes his mouth on the back of his hand. Let's talk. Outside. If I have to smell Leander's skunky aftershave for much longer, I'll hurl. With that, he slips away from the bar, leaving me to follow the path of his long, trailing tail through the crowd. It's so cold outside, the breeze cuts clean through my bandages, freezing my fingers. But if the chill bothers Vere, he doesn't show it. He lopes purposefully down the street into an alley. This is far from the wick. The bar's racket is little more than an indistinct hum. This street, as dead as the Amaryllis district, was crowded. I wonder fleetingly how many unfortunate lives have been ended in this dingy alleyway. Good questions, ask. Vere's breath mists in the dark. In the cold moonlight, his shadow stretches unnaturally long over the cobblestone street. Quickly, I've got a show to attend. Heavenly Lutus, as I'm sure I've mentioned. He looks down his nose at me, effortlessly imperious, with one hand set on his hip, and for breath, I am reminded of the stark want that gleamed in his eyes when he touched me. If he weren't so pretty, I'd walk away. But I need answers, and I can't think of a better way than starting with the people I met earlier. If Vere doesn't prove trustworthy, maybe one of them will. First, I think I'll just ask about Ais, and then nobody else. I'd like to know more about Ais. You two seem close. He made an impression, Not surprising. He's strong, ruthless, easy on the eyes. Gives it almost as well as he takes, even if he's awfully greedy. Big, everywhere, really. Bit simple, but you know what they say about still waters. I don't, but I'm too distracted by the change that's come over Vere to ask. A coy smile plays at his lips as he winds a finger around the chain dangling from his collar. I thought you didn't like most people. Ais isn't most people. He's better. Our eyes meet, and Vere's tender expression curdles. He makes a tiny sound of distaste in the back of his throat. He's more trouble than he's worth. Dangerous, too. Stay far away from him and those red-eyed freaks if you value your safety or your sanity. Is that why you scolded me for going to the Sea Spring? I really don't think Ais is as bad as you're saying. You don't know him, not like I do. The corner of his lip twitches. No one else. I'm done talking about the people I've met. And good thing, too. The longer I talk, the further Vere's attention strays. He keeps casting furtive glances down the street, his ears flicking at distant sounds in what I can only interpret as growing impatience. I wanted to ask you about something else. I'll allow 2 more questions. After that, we're done. But you haven't explained anything at all. Vere's tail is an agitated shake. Then I suggest you make your last questions count. So much for being helpful, but I suppose that's just how information works in this exhausting city. No time for idle chatter. I'll get straight to the point. Leander told me that the Cenobium imprisons people. Did he mean you? Leander's a moaning fool with a throbbing victim complex. He loves to see himself as a savior, but the only difference between him and his cronies and the Cenobium stooges are the uniforms. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what surprises me more, the bluntness with which Vere spoke, or the venom lacing his ordinarily silken voice. You're asking who, when you should be asking why, says the asshole counting my questions. The look he throws me is infuriatingly self-satisfied. Fine, why were you imprisoned? For the same reason they'll disappear you given half the chance. I'm something special. Vere bows his head, gathering his hair in his hands and lifting it from his shoulders to bear the plain leather collar adorning his neck. See this collar? He cranes his neck, inviting me to lean closer. Looks unremarkable, doesn't it? Maybe to the untrained eye, but there's an enchantment just barely visible, like letters embossed on old parchment. Intricate spellwork has been inscribed on the collar. If I touched it, I might be able to figure out what kind of magic it holds. I reach forward to touch the buckle, but Vere's hand lashes out. Long, slender fingers wrap around my wrist, exerting just enough pressure to hint at how easily he could stamp my bones. Don't you know better than to touch without asking? He tuts like a scolding teacher, but an impish smile grazes his lips. Can I please? You didn't ask me first. You didn't ask first, so why should I? Our eyes meet and he grins. Because I said so. That's not very fair. Fuck fairness. Life's not fair. His voice lowers to a pleased rumble. Patient Syringa. I'll tell you when and how you can touch me. Behave, or I'll make you bleed. He says it with a smile so sweet it hurts. Is that a threat or a promise? Vere doesn't answer, but he lets go of my arm. I smooth down my bandages, more to get a grip than anything else. I can't lose my composure again. By now, I'd fully expected Vere to begin walking away, but the fact he's still here suggests that either he forgot about his warning, or he was never counting my questions to begin with. Are you saying that's what'll happen if the Cenobian finds out I'm different? I'll be collared? Doubtful. They keep me around because I'm the best at what I do. And what exactly do you do so well? Killing. He says it carelessly, without hesitation. As long as I wear this collar, I'm made to hunt the Cenobium's dizzying array of enemies, monsters soulless, noisy dissidents who grow overbold. I'm bound by their will until the day I die. That's awful. Vere murmurs in agreement. It is, isn't it? And that's all you're getting from me. I really must leave now. I'll be late. That's it? Why'd you bring me here if you weren't gonna explain anything? He has the nerve to laugh. Isn't that obvious? I wanted to lure you out here alone so I could eat you. You're lying again, and you're asking far too many questions for someone hiding so much. He sneers, and reflexively I shove my hands deep into my cloak. What makes you think I'm hiding anything? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's a tough act, or the way you tense up at the slightest provocation. More likely it's the bandages. Not exactly subtle, I'll be going, unless you're willing to share some morsels with me. There's a biting edge to his playful tone. I can't tell you anything. Wrong. You can start with what you are. I take a step backward, but... My back hits a wall as Vere follows me in lockstep. I turn, only to find his left hand resting on the wall beside my head, caging me in. Vere reaches for me. His fingers curl around my chin and lift, forcing me to meet his lidded gaze. Would you believe me if I said that the eyes are the windows to the soul? My eyelid twitches. Cliché, I know, but let me tell you a little secret. Vere leans in until his lashes tickle my cheek, and the warm, faintly spiced scent of his hair drowns out the stench of greasy cooking fires and chimney smoke. There's nothing you can hide from me. His voice is so low, so supple, you could slip into it. The misery born of your mistreatment haunts you. I understand what it's like to be used and thrown away. I'll give your life new meaning. I swallow thickly. How could he possibly know? No, this must be some kind of trick. But for once, Vere isn't smiling. All that suffering has made your soul so irresistible. His piercing eyes pin me to the spot. The look on his face makes my blood run cold. I've seen it before. Traveling through the wastes, though the lanterns would occasionally reveal carcasses, picked clean by starving scavengers whose eyes shone in the dark with the same ravenous hunger. Vere takes a shuddering breath. You're trembling. What if you and I went somewhere quieter, alone? I've done this before. He just straight up murders me. And I did it in the first stream, so I'm just gonna resist. Part of me wants nothing more than to let him take me, to surrender completely to him. It would be so easy, but I'm not about to give up now. Yeah, you're late. The Ludist. Vere blinks. His voice comes out soft and breathy. Shame. He eases back, and for what feels like the first time since he cornered me, I breathe. But my relief is short-lived. Nimble fingers trail down my jaw before closing around my throat. The touch is feather-light and teasing, but my pulse still leaps. Vere's lips twitch into a smile, his white-ringed pupils thinning with amusement. You're fun, Syringa, even if you frequently forget your place. But if you ever call me a dog again, I'll break you, understood? This is new. When I narrow my eyes at him, he smiles wide enough to flash his sharp, white fangs, as much a warning as a smirk. As soon as Vere releases me, I sink against the alley wall to catch my breath. He looks down on me, his expression distinctly smug. Let's get one thing straight. I ate a monster's 3 times your size for breakfast. 2, actually. The first tasted dreadful, like a fisherman's old ashtray, but that's beside the point. You and I may be alike, but don't ever forget what I am, or what I do best. He flashes me a dazzling smile. Syringa? Anyone seen Syringa? Leander's voice echoes from the direction of the wick. I whip around. I nearly call back before remembering Vere's apparent distaste for Leander. I glance back at Vere. Only he's gone, vanished into the dark. I'm left in the deserted alley, trembling with a delirious mixture of exhaustion and excitement. I let out a long, shaky exhale that condenses in the freezing air. Only once my racing heartbeat slows do I make my way back towards the wick, guided by the distant sound of Leander's voice. Okay, so there wasn't a red option that time. Honestly, I doubt I'll be getting anything out of Min and Kuras, because I wasn't picking something specific for either of them. So I guess now would be just trying out a new route. Not route, like a new different backstory. But I am a little bit busy today. My clothes are done. So I gotta go. Yeah. I don't really know how to end this. But bye. Bye.